Yo everybody, what's going on? This is Keegan from Kman Reviews. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you hit that like and the subscribe button. And if you have any opinions at all that you would like to share, make sure to leave them down in the comment section. Bring Me the Horizon. Post-human survival horror. Bring Me the Horizon is a British rock and metal band formed in 2004 and have undergone a very polarizing career up to this point. Spanning multiple genres over their 18-year history, from their early beginnings in deathcore to recent outputs incorporating aspects of pop, electronica, a bit of alt-rock and nu metal as well, the band is constantly evolving and changing through the years, and I think that makes them one of the more attention-grabbing acts in recent years. My first exposure to the band was a 2015 album, That's the Spirit, and I distinctly remember not liking it, but I can't pinpoint exactly why. Thankfully, my opinion on this band and my overall music tastes have changed for the better, and I came around to a lot of their music, and that's where we are today, with me being here to review the band's latest project as of recording this, Post-Human Survival Horror, released in 2020. I remember when this first came out and how everyone was talking about this non-stop. It was one of the best things to come out of that year, and I remember agreeing at the time, but I don't remember too much about it now, so let's dive in. What are my thoughts on Post-Human Survival Horror? Let's find out as I review it track by track. We will start with the singles, with there being 4 of them. The first being Ludens, which really harnesses that electronic side of the band's music, opening up with some spazzing, glitchy synths, rumbling bass, but then these chugging riffs come in. In my opinion, I adore when those two styles are mixed together. I think they complement each other very well. The muted chorus giving way for the stomping bass to progressively build the song has such an irresistible, groovy snap to it, with Ollie's more torn, weakened vocal delivery. But I love how the second chorus picks it up even more, letting the riffs bash over the bass. Along with Ollie's reinvigorated delivery, it hits so much. The chugging deep riffs only return for this breakdown, completely forgetting the tamer drum machine beat just before, just reminding you how hard this band can truly play. And that final chorus is just the icing on the cake when that sudden drop to a quieter melody feels like a very satisfying way to end the song. I do feel like it can drag a little bit though, but the song shifts styles frequently enough to where it doesn't get boring. Really like this one. The second single, Parasite Eve, named after and inspired by a Japanese video game of the same name, and this definitely feels like it could fit in a video game, almost like in the Doom soundtrack or something. The way the bass pounds slowly builds, starting the song after the chant-like intro, is so suspenseful, with Ollie delivering the vocals in a bit of an eerie manner, like something foreboding is on the way, with the build-up continuing while this more automated-sounding feature from Alyssa Sales, who's Ollie's wife, feels so appropriate, again really tying into that video game soundtrack aesthetic. Then the chorus comes blasting in, and I'm not as crazy about it as Ludens. It's certainly a slower and less impactful bomb, but the yelling from Ollie and powerful riffs are amazing, especially on the breakdown, going even harder than the chorus. The lyrics do have their dystopian connections, but a lot of what I grasped was this is a song about the pandemic and quarantine, all the problems passing through the world. Very nice song. The third single, Obey, featuring Youngblood, continues the more dystopian elements presented on the previous single, gives off some industrial metal vibes, thick, bloody, chugging riffs, a magnetizing bass line, and a lot of hoarse, scratchy screams from both Ollie and Youngblood. Speaking of, I've never been all that fond of Youngblood, but I think his bratty, snotty punk personality combined with his angry, screaming cadence, I think he really killed it. The chorus has an infectious pop undercurrent, kind of reminds me of some of the songs off Of Mice and Men circa 2019. The lyrics here are some of the most blunt on the entire record, tackling oppression from the views of the oppressors, the big world leaders. This is a fun one, I enjoy it. And the fourth and final single, Teardrops, really embraces early Linkin Park, and I am all for it. Sure, it may even come off too strong like an overbearing pastiche, but when it's done so accurately and faithfully, I can't hate it if I try to. The rumbling riff, sweet synth keys, stamping drums, a lovely pop rock pre-chorus that is very catchy, and Ollie fully harnessing both the melodious singing and guttural shrieks of Chester Bennington is pretty amazing. Lyrically, the track tackles being so overwhelmed with innumerable depressing thoughts, unable to express any emotion outright. Honestly, probably my favorite single. Really like this. Now for the rest of the tracks. Opener Dear Diary is completely insane, easily the hardest track on the EP, and also the closest the band gets to revitalizing their metalcore sound from their beginning. The guitars are suffocating, the aggravated percussion is impossible not to headbang along to. All these vocals are so fiery and passionate, but fall down on the menacing bridge. Plus, there's a fucking guitar solo, and it's really good. I mean, what's not to love here? The lyrics also have another video game connection, this time seemingly to the Resident Evil series, directly referencing some diary entries you could find in the first game. Could not ask for a better way to open this EP up. Itch for the Cure parentheses When Will We Be Free, which is a direct reference to Cure for the Itch off Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory. And this 1 minute 26 second interlude kind of just serves as a transitional piece from one half of the EP to the other. And it does a good job at that. The ending bit of the song actually features part of the next song, and it flows into that one very smoothly. It's not a song in itself I'm willing to keep around, but in the context of the full listen, it's a really nice touch. Kingslayer featuring Baby Metal comes off like the most badass anime opening I've never heard. The blasting riffs fully covering the mix, leaving little synth flourishes to provide the barest semblances of melody. It sure is a gripping way to begin a song. I also love the cleaner vocal presence shielded by this gritty, scratchy vocal effect, but then the guttural growl comes in to reaffirm the listener, a very solid effort from Ollie in that regard. Su-Metal's chorus is the highlight of this entire EP. It sounds so good and plays very well over this riff. It is one of my favorite things to grace a metal project that I can recall. This track is just fun, probably the most fun this EP has to offer. I don't know how you could hate this. One by One or One Times One featuring Nova Twins is another very solid banger, similar to what Ludens is like with a lot of pop sensibility. In fact, really no growls, very rare snarling, a lot of clean vocals in this one. I can definitely see this one clicking with the more casual listener more so than any other track here, and with me being a fan of pop, that style also hits me pretty well too. I love the sweeter hook paired with the heavy riffs and solid drums. Amy Love's vocals are also very good. She's much more aggressive than Ollie is, especially on the pre-chorus. She really hollers there, and it's pretty satisfying. Lyrically, there can be many interpretations, but what I believe is that it's about humanity destroying itself, reliving these grieving moments where our species just implodes all because of petty differences. Pretty nice song here too. And finally the closer, One Day the Only Butterflies Left Will Be in Your Chest As You March Towards Your Death, which features Amy Lee of Evanescence, which is the obligatory closing track ballad, but I kinda wish it wasn't. The song is such a jarring change of pace for the EP after 8 tracks of metal bangers to come to a sudden stop for a moody orchestral song completely kills the pace of the EP. And as a result, kind of ends it on a bitter note. The track isn't terrible in and of itself. Both Amy and Ollie do well over this instrumental, especially Amy being from Evanescence. There couldn't have been a better feature for this song of this nature, but the way this song is just shoehorned in at the end to have this slower track to finish was not necessary, especially on an EP as fiery as this one. Overall, this Bring Me the Horizon EP was pretty fucking awesome. Definitely on the more accessible side of metal with a lot of sugary, polished vocal performances, structures, and melodies. But when things get heated and energetic, boy is that flame cranked hard. I also really like the Linkin Park influence on this EP. I know I didn't mention it too much throughout this review, but as a fan of Linkin Park, I can't really complain when hearing it. Plus, the band just radiate fun and good energy all across this EP. Don't see what's not to love here. I'm feeling a 9 out of 10 on this EP. Well guys, hope you enjoyed that review. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.